I know many of you out there are excited to check this out, so here we go, guys. This is the One More Colorbuds 2. The first gen Colorbuds was such a success for the company, they said, let's do it one more time. Get it? One more time. In fact, the people over at One More has feature dropped the heck out of this new one, partly thanks to the Qualcomm 3040 chipset, while keeping the price, thank goodness, in check. So I'm guessing the big question on your mind now is, Aaron, how much better is it? And is it worth the upgrade in the first place? Well, personally, I hated this thing, but now I don't. Wait, what? What does that mean? Well, I will explain why after these messages, but first, let's hit it one more time. Hit me, baby, one more time. And remember to sub and like this video if you like where this is going. That way. Let's talk specs first. The Colorbuds 2 will set you back $80 and it comes in 3 different colors. Black and white are available on Amazon, while the third color, Twilight Gold, is only offered at One More's own retail site, and I'll link them all down below if you need it. There's a Qualcomm QCC 3040 chipset on board, which means it brings along active noise cancellation, mono, and pass-through modes all built in, Bluetooth 5.2 with support for SBC, AAC, and aptX adaptive. Water resistance is IPX5, which is identical to the first Colorbuds. Weight is 5 grams per bud, which is very light. Battery life is tagged at 8 hours by the factory, but I was really getting closer to like 7.2 hours on average at 65% volume and active noise cancellation turned on. The case, as you can see, is small and really easy to hold at the same time. It has this nice matte finish and somewhat frictiony material all around it. At the back here is the USB-C charging port. At the front is a multicolored status LED that changes from red to orange to green. And we also have Qi charging here, guys, right here at the bottom. And One More was thoughtful enough to make this flat so you can put this on a flat surface. And also installed a piece of really soft, grippy padding right here. So you can put this on a slanted, slippery surface and this thing is not going anywhere. When you open up the lid, you see this nice shallow cavity where the earbud usually sits, and this makes it easy to clean as well. Charging pins are right there, reset button right here in the middle. And I have to say, while the lid doesn't flop around like others, it doesn't stay locked in the open position either, as you can see. So yeah, anyways, since we're here, let's actually do the shake test. Now, some of you have asked why I do the shake test. This is really for fun, but also at the same time to simulate what happens if you drop this on the floor, whether the buds go flying or not. So let's do this. Yeah, these things pass with flying colors, I'll tell you what. One design quirk that I noticed is this supposed finger pocket right here. Now, in most other earbuds, and maybe even this one too, this space is an intentional ergonomic decision so that you can put your index finger in there and then you pinch it with your thumb. But where the surface where your thumb rests is really slippery and rounded in this case, so if it's not the least bit dry, it's pretty much impossible. Like 9 out of 10 times, I can't get it out. So one workaround is this ridge at the top right here, and then you pinch it right at the bottom. Is so much easier, like that. It's just so much faster than this. Even right now, I just have a harder time doing it. The earbuds themselves, I'll tell you what, are pretty well put together, and the material choices are very similar to the case, well, maybe slightly slipperier on the earbud side, but this thing is also designed to sit discreetly in your ear. I mean, just look at it. This thing is so compact, and unlike say a Samsung Buds Plus that's compact for the sake of being compact, that thing is shaped like a rounded chocolate malt ball. This thing, at least you can still fiddle with it with your fingers if you have to. Now, the side plate here is another highlight. In lighter colorways like this white or gold, it has this translucent quality to it. Like if I shift in the light, it looks like a pearl, doesn't it? And especially with the LEDs going in the dark, the effect is pretty darn cool. I really like it. We also have touch controls on the side here that accept double and triple tap commands. There are 2 mics that handle phone calls. One right here is the voice mic, and right up here is the feedback. And there are actually 2 more mics on the body that do audio processing. One right there and one right behind the ear tip. I'm not sure if you can see that. The wear detection window is right there, so that means this does auto pause play if you want it to. 7mm driver that does all the grunt work, that ports sound through this really short sound channel that's protected by a metal mesh grill. Really nice touch right there. The ear tips are very comfortable, but they're not the easiest to install because of this really wide lip. I always have a hard time with this. It takes forever.
1 hour later.
And finally, there you go. So here's the One More Music app, and the UI is clean, well organized, and easy to figure out for the most part, though I wish there was some kind of dark mode. You have your usual things like checking the battery levels and also selecting between active noise cancellation and pass-through mode here at the top. Smart playback is where you toggle on and off the auto pause play if you want to. Custom settings basically change all your touch commands, and you're restricted to double and triple taps only, and they come in sets. At the top right here, if you tap the One More logo, it brings you to more settings. And here's something you don't see very often. You can choose to burn in the earbuds. Yes, you can burn in your earbuds here, and it takes about 12 hours to complete. And something that may or may not net you better is sound quality, just saying. Back at the home screen, a quick word about Sound ID right here in the middle. So in place of an equalizer to fine-tune your buds, the Colorbuds 2 employ this battery of A/B. Let me do this test real quick. They do this A/B test where, you'll play this looped sound clip. There are different genres that you can pick from. I'm going to choose the first one and then go from there. It'll play this over and over again, and then I can select A or B. And each time it does it, it'll emphasize different aspects of that same sound clip. And then you decide which do you prefer, A or B, or no difference at all. Like in this case, I can't tell the difference. And so how does this work for sound quality? Well, you're gonna have to check out what I think about this in the pros and cons section later in the show. That, my friends, over there is a frozen tidal river. It's cold today, probably below like 18 degrees or something, and it's gonna snow. I'm excited about that one at least, but let's do this test. I have some Pointer Sisters singing some Yes We Can. This song, I'll tell you what, is from the 70s, but it jams, guys. It rocks. You should definitely check it out. So anyways, I'm gonna put the phone at the end of my deck playing the song, and we're gonna take the Colorbuds this way, and we'll see when these cut out from each other. So the Colorbuds 2 have Bluetooth 5.2, so it should last around 30 to 33 feet. And where I'm standing right now is about 25, and the phone is still there. It hasn't moved, thank goodness. So we should start hearing a cutout right about now. There you go. Yeah, so it's within specs, definitely working as expected. But I'm gonna keep walking this way. Music is unintelligible right now, but I'm gonna find out when these things cut out. How you guys doing? Thank you for joining me today. It's really nice out. I like this kind of weather. It's fresh. Oh, just got the tone where it disconnected. That's around, what, 42, 43 feet, just for fun. And I like the tone of these. It doesn't just say disconnected. It sounds like a doorbell, ding dong, or a reverse doorbell. But then when you get back in range, it's about now, you hear ding dong. That's pretty funny. You can see the fit of these in my ears, really nice and compact. I love how these fit. They're so flush against your ear. But I am kind of curious how these sound also with phone calls down by the street here. So let's move on to that. All right, let's head down to the road right now. There's a lot of traffic because it's rush hour, and it's a perfect time to get some sound samples. And I'm going to switch between the G85 camera and these Colorbuds too, and you can hear for yourselves how these things fare. Now, once you've heard, in my opinion, once you've heard one QCC3040 chip, you've heard them all. And in this case, I don't think One More has done any kind of extra tweaking to it. So noise suppression, I'll say when it's noisy. Where are all the cars suddenly? It's okay, slightly above average, but definitely not class leading, but I'm not expecting much or that kind of level for this kind of price. So, on a noisy street, in a noisy house, these things are perfectly fine for Zoom calls or whatever. One thing is nice too, though, if you get a phone call with active noise cancellation running before that, you'll go to pass-through mode. So at least for me, that's a great safety feature, so you're not completely isolated from any kind of noisy situations or dangerous situations while you're talking to someone. It has 2 mics per side. It does a pretty good job, and in wind, it's okay. It gets overcome pretty easily, but that's to be expected for this price. I smell bacon. Woo. Okay. Anyways, let's get back in the house. I'm getting kind of cold here, so yeah, let's get to it. There are only 2 things I absolutely like about these things, but they are thankfully the important stuff. Sound quality for one. I've come to really enjoy listening to these things, even though, true story, straight out of the box, I was quite disappointed. Like practically everything that came out of these ear tips sounded muffled and suppressed. Bass lacked any kind of thump or definition, while details were, well, not very detailed at all. And I was like, this is what everyone was hyping about, or did I just get a dud or something? And so in a little bit of desperation, to be honest, I decided to use Sound ID in the app, and I went through the whole process, and wow guys, just wow, what a night and day difference. I mean, it still sounds slightly woolly to me, but the bass and soundstage especially really has woken up, and I could hear guitar plucks and other details I didn't hear before. Now, that being said, one downer I have to say is power. The amplification, I think, runs a little bit weaker than others I've tested so far, which means you have to crank up the volume a few notches more than you would with other earbuds. The other pro is the design and fit. To me, it strikes a good balance of compactness, looks, fit, and comfort, even though I still wouldn't use these for like heavy workouts or activities because yeah, they just pop right out the moment your jaw moves or something. But the fact is that the Colorbuds are this light and comfortable means that you can quite easily use them for hours on end, no problem. Alright, on to the negatives. And again, I also have two things that I don't care for these. First is the limited control options that we have. And one more, I'm talking to you here, whatever happened to including single tap and hold commands? For something that's made at the tail end of this year, it just feels like an odd miss to just have double and triple taps. Though, that being said, I have a hunch that one more might add this in a future firmware update. Now, including Sound ID basically replaces any semblance of a proper equalizer for those of you who need that kind of stuff. And don't get me wrong, Sound ID itself works great and all, up to an extent of course, but it would have been nice to either have the final Sound ID result be manually tweakable by users, or better yet, give us both a proper EQ and Sound ID at the same time, because we all like options, and I'm sure you can agree with me on that. You know, in hindsight, I think it was because its reputation preceded itself, and therefore my expectations were pretty high. Because after all, I've been hearing nothing but good vibes about One More products, and you guys have been just wanting me to review One More for the longest time. And so, as I mentioned before, when I first opened these up, powered this on, and started listening to tunes, I was basically like, what the crap is this? It sounds horrible. It's like somebody on the assembly line left a piece of foam in there by accident or something. I didn't like it. However, my opinion made a complete 180 when Sound ID entered the picture. Now, ideally an EQ would have been best here, but at least now what I can say is if you're looking for good looks, compact size, something that feels light in your ears, has also decent noise cancellation, and don't mind having an algorithm figure out the best sound for you, then you'll be happy with these little buggers. So, with all that said, I'm gonna give the One More Colorbuds 2 a GearUP score of 8.3 out of 10 right here, and this is how I broke it down to get a final score. If you have any questions about it, feel free to comment down below. Hey guys, before you go, if you found this video helpful or even the least bit interesting, please click subscribe down below and turn on the bell notification icon to stay up to date whenever I drop new videos. I'm currently sitting at just under 13,000 subs, and it will be super awesome to be at 15K by the end of the year, so please help me get there. You can check out my Patreon link down here too if you'd like to be a Patreon supporter, and don't forget to thumbs up if you like this video, and comment nicely down below as well, super important stuff. And thumbs down. Thumbs down if you've written a 1-star review on Amazon, like complaining about everything under the sun except for the product you're actually writing about. Yeah, you know who you are. And also, double thumbs down to those who upvoted those exact same 1-star reviews. What's up with that? But anyways, that's all I got. Well, actually not really. Next week we're gonna be looking at this. The Pixel 6 is in the house, yo. I'm excited about this one. But yes, I hope you come back for that one. So remember to do something loving and kind for somebody in this world this week, guys, because it is the season of giving after all. And believe it or not, the world needs it more than ever, and it starts with you. I love y'all very much. Peace out.